So me and Ross are out here at the Beehive Bothy. Ross has just been doing some work, getting some new trees planted here, and I thought we'd just do a short video while we're here. On my last video about the Roman fort, I got a lot of people in the comments telling me that I was pronouncing Durisdeer wrong. Now, Ross is local, you grew up at Lochmaben, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I thought I could meet up with Ross and he can tell me if I'm pronouncing things wrong. So Ross, how do you pronounce Durisdeer?
Durisdeer.
Durisdeer,
Yeah.
Right.
That's how I pronounce it. It could be wrong. Durisdeer.
But you grew up here and that's how you would pronounce it?
That's how I'd say it, yeah.
Well, I've only lived in Scotland for 17 years, so you know, I'm still learning. But it brought up an interesting point, because if you're just looking at a name written on a map, you don't necessarily know how it's pronounced, and there's lots of other names along the Southern Upland Way that I thought maybe I'm pronouncing them wrong, but maybe people who walk the Southern Upland Way don't know how to pronounce them. So I thought today we'd go through a load of names of places on the Southern Upland Way, see if I can pronounce them properly, and if not, then Ross can hopefully give us the correct pronunciation, and hopefully it'll just allow you to know how to say place names properly as you walk in the Southern Upland Way. So, shall we give this a go?
Yep.
Right, I've got a list on here. The start of the Southern Upland Way. Please tell me that I'm pronouncing this one properly. Portpatrick.
Yeah.
Yep.
I say it a wee bit quicker, because
Yep.
to me it's one word.
Yep.
But Portpatrick, I call
Portpatrick.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
But I'm not too far off on that.
That's it's perfect. I think everybody splits it down.
You can't
into
go
two
too
words.
far wrong with that.
Portpatrick.
Right.
Yep.
So, we then head along the coast to the lighthouse. And again, I think I know how to pronounce this, but I suspect I'm putting the emphasis in the wrong place. I would say Kilfinnan.
Yeah. Kilfinnan.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yep.
That's how I'd say it.
So, we're both happy with that one.
Yep.
Excellent. Right. The first one that I think might be a bit tricky. This is a reservoir that you pass as you go over Broadmoor, so the simplest way to do it is just to say Broadmoor. But the reservoir is, and I think I'm right here, is this Knockasson.
See, I would say Knockquasson,
Knockquasson.
but I would imagine someone from Traair would say it completely different as well.
Right,
So I'd say Knockquasson.
right.
Yeah.
Knockquasson.
Yeah.
Right. But there's a lot of QU
Yeah.
names where you don't pronounce the QU at all, aren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, there's quite a famous one right in the middle.
Yeah.
But
But
you definitely pronounce
you would
it.
say this
Yeah.
Knockquasson.
Knockquasson.
Right.
Yep.
If you disagree,
Close
if you're
enough.
local, if you live in Stranraer, let us know if we're getting this wrong. And there we are, straight away onto the first big town that you pass. You pass by on the Southern Upland Way rather than go through it. Stranraer.
Yeah, perfect.
Yep. Yep. Excellent. Now, this is actually just a small farm that's on the Southern Upland Way, but the reason I wanted to include this one is it's got this Z-E-A-N at the end, and there's quite a few places locally which are spelt like that, like Culane Castle and Kilgallioch near Dalbeattie, where you don't pronounce the Z. So I'm assuming this would be Kil McFadder.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. Yep.
Yep. So we're just the Z-E-A-N, the Z is silent.
Just ignore it. Yep.
Yep, just ignore the Z. There we go. Right, this is where we are sitting right now, and I really hope that I'm pronouncing this one properly, because this is actually the Windfarm, which is owned by ScottishPower Renewables, which provides some of the funding for me and Ross. So I'm really hoping I've been saying this right. It's got OCH on the end, which normally in Scotland would be Och. So Kilgallioch.
Yep. Kilgallioch. Yep.
Yep. Excellent. I'm glad I got that one right. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Now, me and you have spoken about this one before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Because
it's a weird one.
It's a weird one. This is where the Chalk Memorial Bothy is. So we often use this for the name of the Bothy instead of saying Chalk Memorial Bothy. But when I first moved up here, and somebody, and I've forgotten who, told me this was pronounced Pulskith. But that's not how you would pronounce it, is it?
No, I'd say Pulskith.
Yep.
But I'm from the east of the region. Upper Nithsdale's a language of its own. Like, it could be anything.
Yeah. And this is a place in the middle of nowhere, so there's not a lot of people now who would live nearby or know it very well. So again, if you're living up in Nithsdale and you would say that differently, please let us know in the comments. Let us know if we're both wrong. So, staying in Upper Nithsdale, this is again a farm that's on the route, and I'm assuming that again the Z is silent here, so that would be Ulyside.
Mm-hmm. I say it more Ulyside.
Ulyside.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. We're happy with that.
Yeah, close enough.
Right. Now this is a small glen that you pass as you're heading along the Southern Upland Way. There's a fantastic short walk that goes up this glen, which I would strongly recommend. If you're not walking the Southern Upland Way but you're in the area, this is a really nice short walk to do. And this, I believe, is Yuken.
Yeah, I'd say it more Yuken.
Yuken.
My brother's called Ewan, so EU to me is more a U.
Right.
So I call it Yuken.
Right.
Yep.
And here we are, the big town, which I certainly hope I'm pronouncing this right. Sanka.
Yeah. Sanka.
Yep. Sanka.
Yeah. It's not Sanquhar, like a lot of tourists might call it.
Yeah. A lot of people get this wrong, and it's understandable, isn't it? Because if you look at that,
it's
you're
a weird
not
word.
local.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's Sanka. And just outside of Sanka, we have this, which is where you've got a landscape sculpture park. It's quite an amazing site if you want to go and visit. And I believe this is pronounced Croik.
Yeah.
Yep.
Croik. Like Hoik. Croik.
Right.
Yep.
Fantastic. And definitely worth stopping off and visiting if you're in Sanka. It's a fantastic site. Well worth looking at. So we're now heading down towards Beatuk, and at the top of the hill, before you start walking down the crooked road into Beatuk, you'll pass this, which I believe is Irshig.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Irshig. Yep.
Yep. Excellent. Another really nice place for a short walk. So the site of a bothy. We're now getting into the Scots borders. All these ones up until now have been Dumfries and Galloway, but this is now the Scots borders. So I don't know these places as well, and I might get them wrong. Hopefully you will know how to pronounce them, but
yeah,
you grew up in Dumfries and Galloway, didn't you?
Yeah, not the borders.
Yeah. So this is where another one of the bothies is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is Poor Hope.
Yes, yeah. Full Hope. Like
Right.
over Full Hope.
Right.
Don't really know why, to be honest.
Right.
No
So, yeah.
idea. Yeah. PH like phone, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah. Full Hope.
Full Hope. Right. Now, a small village that you pass through on the Southern Upland Way. I have always assumed that with Sanka being Sanka, that this would be Traair.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd agree with that. Yep.
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 Yep. Traair. We're happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. I'm not doing too bad. I'm quite happy with this. And so we come to the end of the route, which is, and I'm fairly confident I do know how to pronounce this one, Coburns Path.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of people split it up in the wrong way.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. But it is Coburns Path. And there we are. That is the place names along the Southern Upland Way that I thought could be mispronounced or I could be getting wrong. Can you think of any others that people get wrong?
A lot of people talk about Dalry, which is Dalry.
Yep.
Sanker's the big one for getting wrong as well. Coburns Path, they get
Yep.
wrong quite a lot.
Yep.
A lot of the farm names.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Bargrennen as well. Even people get that wrong.
Yep.
Like, I can't actually think how they get that wrong because you
Yep.
say it like you see it, but
Yep.
yeah.
But then if you're from a different part of the world where
Yeah.
things, you know, spellings work differently.
Yeah.
It's actually interesting. A lot of the spellings of places actually originate from the Ordnance Survey name books.
Uh-huh.
which was from the mid-19th century. The Ordnance Survey employed a whole load of people just to go out and ask local people what the names of places were to write on the maps. And of course a lot of the local people had different ideas about spelling, so it was just what the Ordnance Survey staff interpreted from what local people said.
Yeah.
So I've got a few more that are not on the Southern Upland Way, but they're in the area, which I think probably a lot of people get wrong. I've certainly heard people get these wrong. So I've just got, which we've already spoken about, Hoik.
Hoik, yep.
Yeah, which is not how I would have thought to say it if I hadn't been told. Now this is actually on the new Runza Galloway coast path, and this one again is something that I've heard a lot of people get wrong. If you're not from the area you wouldn't know it, but my understanding is this is Kakum.
Yeah, I say it more Kakum, like Kakum, but
yeah.
But I'm not from that side of the region. Like, we say things different my side of the region.
And finally, Cubri.
Yeah, Cubri. Yep.
So that's all of the names that I've got. I have, however, just got one more where I'm going to flip it around. I thought I would just see if you can pronounce the name of the town where I'm from. And see if you get this right. I don't know if you will or not. Some people get it wrong.
Alsager?
There we go. It's not. It's Ulyside.
All right.
But not bad.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know, it just goes to show if you're not from an area, you get pronunciations wrong, don't you? So hopefully this video has been of some use if you're walking the Southern Upland Way. You now know how to pronounce Sanka at the very least. If you'd like me to do more videos about place names, like me to go into more of the details of where place names originate from and the original Gaelic, then let me know in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed this, or at least found it useful. If you have, please do click the like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos about the Southern Upland Way. Thank you very much for watching.